Welcome to the Michigan Football Report, everybody. I am back after a brief break, but Michigan gets the win 45-7. It is my 5 instant reactions after the Wolverines win 45-7 at Nebraska. First road game of the 2023 National Championship, future National Championship season for Jim Harbaugh's Wolverines. Look, Michigan gave up a 74-yard touchdown run late. Just really irked me because I was hoping they would get a shutout after they should have had a shutout in at least 2 of the first 4 games, if not 3 of the first 4 games. Funny stat they put it into the broadcast. Michigan is the 3rd team ever, it seemed like, and the first one since 1993 Florida State, who won the national championship, to start a season 5-0 while scoring 30 points in all 5 games and holding their opponent to under 10 points. So some historic stats there for Michigan. Historic start, 3rd team ever, scoring over 30 in 5 straight games, holding their opponent to under 10. First team to do it in 30 years. I waited a little bit after the game to see if maybe Georgia was going to lose. They were playing at Auburn. They were down a little bit in the first half, tie ball game most of the second half, but they get a touchdown in the fourth quarter, win 27-20. So Michigan won't be number 1 in the polls. I don't think so, at least going into tomorrow. So they should remain number 2 after tonight's 45-7 win over Nebraska Courthouse. Look, Nebraska should just vacate the 1997 claim to the half national championship. Michigan has absolutely dominated them in the Big Ten and certainly under Jim Harbaugh. But I'm going to give you guys my 5 instant reactions here in a moment. But a lot of you guys have been saying, James, where you been? Why haven't you done videos lately? I'm going to blame it on some construction guys. The construction industry just complete, whatever. If you work in construction, I get it. But studios will be ready tomorrow. That's been going on for almost 2 weeks now. But should be back tomorrow, right? Things are rocking and rolling down there at the Chat Sports Studios. I've been deferring to some of my teammates, some shows that needed the studio space. So we took a little break, and I had to do a little business travel last week. But nevertheless, should be back with all the graphics and everything coming up on Sunday for our Michigan Football Overreaction Sunday. So I blame the construction delays on no content for about a week and a half here on the channel, but wanted to get you guys some Casa de Yoder with a Michigan-Nebraska post-game show. So before I give you my 5 instant reactions, give me your 1-word reaction to Michigan's 45-7 win. They gave up a touchdown late. Could have had a shutout for the first time this season, but 1-word reaction down in the comments. Mine is satisfying. I thought it was a very satisfying win for Jim Harbaugh and this Michigan football program. First instant reaction is Michigan felt right today. They just felt right. They felt like this was the team we expected out all season. They scored in the 40s for the first time all season. J.J. McCarthy looked good. Blake Corum looked good. The wide receivers looked good. The team felt confident. The play calling on defense, on offense, even on special teams, felt confident. I know Tyler Morris bobbled a punt, but still I thought special teams across the board felt confident. The defense was swarming all day long. Some stats for you really quick. We've got it up here for Michigan. McCarthy goes 12 of 16, so 75%. Won't really drop his completion percentage much on the season, but only 156 yards. 2 really ridiculous passes, touchdown passes to Roman Wilson. That David Tyree in the Super Bowl for the Giants against the Patriots style one in the first half, and then another one down the left sideline in the end zone. Both kind of scramble plays. Scramble play the second one. First one was more of just letting things come open and just let it rip for J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy also had a rushing touchdown. He finishes with 2 carries, 30 yards, and that 1 rushing touchdown. Blake Corum, 16 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. I'll talk about him more in a few seconds. On the receiving side of things, Roman Wilson, 4 catches, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cornelius Johnson had a couple catches. Darius Clemens makes his first appearance of the year with 2 catches. A.J. Barner with 2 as well. The defense side of the ball, a lot of new faces. Josiah Stewart, Keon Saab, Derek Moore, Rayshon, Trap Money Benny making an impact for this Michigan football team. I don't know if you guys saw, though, on Twitter yesterday, I put out that I'm playing Prize Picks, and today's show is presented by Prize Picks. I want to tell you more about our presenting sponsor, and if you guys want to spice up the way you approach game days, I encourage you to get going with Prize Picks. It's a skill-based game, real money, daily fantasy sports. If you're looking for a way to, have more fun and spend your game days a look at a little bit different things, need some stats, then look no further than Prize Picks. How does it work, you ask? Here's how. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they go more or less than their Prize Picks possession. So, for example, I had 3 Prize Picks for today in college football. I'm going to tell you guys about them today. I didn't win. I picked J.J. McCarthy to go over 222.5 yards, more than 222 yards passing. I picked Donovan Edwards to go more than 16.5 yards receiving. Did not hit either one of those things. J.J. McCarthy pulled middle of the third quarter. Donovan Edwards didn't even really get going in the passing game for Michigan, which was a surprise to me. I've been told they've been working on getting him more involved at that slot receiver position. Caleb Williams is my third pick because he can't pick all from one team. I said he would go over 353.5 yards, more than 353.5 yards. He did for the ball game against Colorado, USC beating Colorado by a score. And so I didn't win mine, but it was a new way for me to think about approaching game days. So check out prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS for a deposit match at Prize Picks. You aren't competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. We're battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. With Prize Picks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks. So get started right away. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS for a deposit match up to $100. I'll put the link down in the comments and the description of today's video. My second instant reaction is Michigan's defense looked dominant. I thought the defense was absolutely dominant, stunning, fast, all over the place, impressive. That's all I could say about this team. I think the defensive line was what stood out to me. So no Mason Graham for the second week in a row, but there were players all over the ball. Hell, Kenneth Good looked good. Rayshawn Benny looked good. Kenneth Grant, how about from the defensive end position, you had Michigan and Braden McGregor, right? Tipping a pass and getting an interception for Kenneth Grant. McGregor also in the first half coming off the end and getting a stop on fourth down when Nebraska looked like maybe they could score. I was super impressed with the defense, the defensive line in particular. When you look at the stat sheet here for Nebraska, what they did, 8 of 13 for third downs. I'm sorry, that was Michigan. Nebraska, 3 of 10 for third downs. It's like, that doesn't seem right. Nebraska also went for fourth down 3 times. The Cornhuskers had 306 yards today, 75 or whatever it was on that last drive for the touchdown. So really this is a 225-yard game on the road for Michigan's defense. The Nebraska passing game was a little bit better than expected, honestly. It really was. Heinrich Herberg, the quarterback, 14 of 25 for 199 yards, but they were down the entire game. So they just had a pass. I think all things being considered, Michigan had a shutout going this entire game. I think the defense looks phenomenal. If you look at what people are saying from other fan bases on social media, people are scared across this country. Michigan's given up just over 5 points coming into this game, so it'll be about 6.5 points or so, 6 points, 6.25, whatever it is, after 3 games. After 5 games. But I like what I see out of this defense. I think Michigan has perhaps the best defense in the country, but they could have the best defense in the history of this Michigan football program, even including that 1997 fabled Michigan 1997 national championship defense. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe to the channel as we are coming up on another subscriber milestone of 28,000. So hit us on the subscribe, click that button right below the video, Michigan Football Report. Daily, going forward, back in October, we're back to daily videos. Apologies for not having much the last 9, 10, 11 days. But hit subscribe right here on YouTube. We will have more content on Sunday, Monday, every single day of October going forward at the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Number 3 instant reaction was Ladarius Henderson got the start today. Okay, Miles Hinton didn't play. He's hurt. And Carson Barnhart shifted over to right tackle to replace him. And Ladarius Henderson, the transfer from Arizona State, gets the start at left tackle. He, I thought, looked okay. He got burned 3 or 4 times. 2 in particular, J.J. McCarthy got hit pretty strong on plays that Ladarius Henderson got burnt on. So I didn't think Henderson looked great. I didn't think him alone was some sort of upgrade and moving Barnhart over to right tackle over what Michigan has had previously with Hinton there at right tackle and Barnhart left tackle. So that one position or that shift around didn't look great, but I thought the Michigan offensive line as a whole looked a lot better today. So it's kind of tough to quantify, but that's just the way I saw it. I didn't think that Henderson looked phenomenal. I did think the Michigan offensive line as a whole, with him in it, and maybe it's just that Carson Barnhart is back to where he feels more natural. Right tackle did look better today. I thought it was Michigan's best offensive line performance of the 2023 season. But let me know what you guys think. Grade the offensive line performance today. Give me an A, B, C, or D. I'm going to give him a B+. Grade against Nebraska. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, A, B, C, or D. The Michigan football offensive line today against Nebraska. My number 4, instant reaction. I thought that Blake Corum started his Heisman Trophy campaign today. Now, the stat sheet's not going to say that Blake Corum was absolutely out of his mind by any means. 16 carries, 74 yards, and 1 touchdown. Did not have a pass catch at all, but I thought he looked quicker. I thought he looked like the Blake Corum of old. And only 16 carries, and maybe that's all you can expect from him. Given Donovan Edwards, and hell, Kalel Mullings today, getting 5 carries for 43 yards and 1 nice touchdown on a 20-yard touchdown run in the first half. But Blake Corum looked fast to me. He was doing those jump cuts where it looks like the entire offensive and defensive line shifted one way. Whoop! He's going back the other way. So it's game 5. Blake Corum is leading college football in rushing touchdowns, added 1 more today. So he could stay co-leading the nation in that. Maybe he drops back if somebody else who's with him scores 2 or even more today. But nevertheless, I thought today was the first step forward for Blake Corum. He scored a touchdown in every single game. His stats are kind of in that same range, a little less yards, but same amount of touchdowns as they were after 5 games last season. I think this was the first step for Blake Corum in what could be a Heisman Trophy campaign. Had he not been hurt against Illinois last year, folks, I really think that he would have won the Heisman Trophy. But nevertheless, that is my number 4 overreaction. Number 5 is his backup, Donovan Edwards. He still kind of looks, The Don is not taking over college football. My son, by the way, is just in shambles because he's become a big Donovan Edwards fan after the Ohio State game. He's only 6 years old, but hey, 75 yards, 85 yards. And first game I said, the Don scores a touchdown, I'll get you a toy. No touchdown, no toy. Second game, same deal. No touchdown, no toy. And now, and on, we're through 5 weeks of a 12-game regular season, the entire month of September. No touchdowns to the Don. 14 carries, 48 yards. So Michigan was definitely trying to get him involved early on. First quarter was all the Don. Really kind of after Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy came out, middle end of the third quarter, it became the Don for a little while as well. But you can make an argument that Kalel Mullings played better with 5 carries for 43 yards and a 20-yard touchdown run. So I don't know what's going on with the Don today. He did have, for even the season, 1 catch for 3 yards as well. But we're 5 games into this 2023 season, and the Don has no touchdowns. He barely has, 150 yards rushing? It's been pretty disappointing so far this 2023 season for a guy who said he could be one of the greatest running backs in the history of football, all football, right? That's what he said in an interview this summer. He said he might be the best slot receiver in the country when he practices, which he is when he plays there, but we have not seen it show up in the stat sheet or the impact on the game. If he had not played a game this year, and this is no slight on Donovan Edwards, I love Donovan Edwards. He could be up there among my favorite Michigan players of all time for what he did against Ohio State and Purdue last year. If he hadn't played a snap this year, Michigan would be no worse off. And I hope that's something that we don't say weeks and months from now. But he's yet to make a real impact for this team. So I'm a little bit concerned. Are you guys worried about Donovan Edwards? Let me know with a Y. I'm worried about the Don. Comment below with a Y if you're worried about the Don. If you're not worried about the Don or just not worried about Michigan not needing him, give me an N down in the comments. So are you worried about the Don or Michigan needing him? Give me a Y or an N down in the comments. I will be back in studio tomorrow on Sunday morning. I'm going to film around 11 a.m. or so Eastern time. We'll get the video out shortly after that. So until I see you guys on Sunday, go blue. We'll be back fully in studio Monday, all throughout next week, and have a post-game show in studio next Saturday as Michigan faces Minnesota on the road again in a night game. So make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Blue.